guys, my name is Natalie, and today I'm going to be reviewing Name Dropping by Jane Heller. Now, overall I really enjoyed this book, and I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I actually did give it a 4 out of 5 stars. This book is about two women named Nancy Stern who end up living in the same New York City apartment building. One Nancy is a high-profile journalist. She's not really famous herself, but she interviews the likes of Harrison Ford and presidents and all sorts of fancy people. So we're just going to call her Fancy Nancy so I don't get too confusing. So we have Fancy Nancy, who lives in the penthouse, and we have the other Nancy, who is a preschool teacher. Now, their mail packages, phone calls, all get mixed up. This book takes place in the early 2000s. So there's no internet. Well, there's internet, but it's not really developed. There's no cell phones. And so not Fancy Nancy gets a lot of Fancy Nancy's phone calls, phone messages, especially from the men in Fancy Nancy's life. She seems to have a lot of men vying for her affection. Anyway, one day, regular Nancy, nursery school Nancy, gets this phone message left on her machine, and it is from Bill. Bill is a gentleman who just moved to New York City, and he has a mutual friend with Fancy Nancy. So this friend says to Bill, you know, you're moving, why don't you look Fancy Nancy up? She is a wonderful person. So Bill decides to do just that and accidentally gets Nancy, preschool Nancy. So Nancy, preschool Nancy, is a little jealous of Fancy Nancy's lifestyle. She has a lot more disposable income than the other Nancy. So Nancy decides to go out with Bill and not tell Fancy Nancy about this. So she goes on this blind date with Bill. And of course, all sorts of shenanigans happen. What did surprise me though, and it says on the flap here, and I should have read more, but the first little bit just caught my attention. But this is a book of mystery, mistaken identity, mix-up, and murder. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, I did enjoy this book. It did have some twists and turns that really caught me off guard. I thought I knew where it was headed, and it did not go in that direction at all. So I appreciated that. Some of the things I didn't like, I felt like the love story was rushed, really rushed. It went from 0 to I love you in 0.3 seconds, which I didn't really like. Also, I didn't like, there was parts where Nancy's, not Fancy Nancy, but the other Nancy's, just words and phrasing were peculiar. She was yelling at someone, and she said, "Don't take another step, Buster, or I'm going to call 911. Sorry, when's the last time, I mean, even if this is in the early 2000s, let me get really pissed off and call someone Buster. That is so menacing and mean. And this book used the F word, so wouldn't it just, I don't know. Anyway, overall, it was a great read, a fun read, and you can find this on Amazon. I checked. You can get an ebook version for $2.99, or there's a plethora of hardbacks and there's you know, the other thing, the not hardback. It's escaping my mind right now. Don't mind me. Anyway, the cover's a little different, but it's still the same book, and I really recommend it. Anyway, I finished up Just Listen also, and I will talk about that in my wrap-up, but just kind of giving you an update from my last overwhelming pile of to-reads that I had in my last video. I'm only one book behind on my Goodreads goal of 52 books this year, so that's really exciting. I'm still currently reading The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I don't know whether to keep going on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to drive my car when I move, and if I do, that's going to be a really long drive, so I kind of want to save the audiobook for that. But if I don't end up driving and my mom ends up driving, then I'm not going to make her listen to the back half of a book on tape. Well, audiobook. You feel me. That's it for me for today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them below. I'm also going to link my Goodreads page. If you have a Goodreads page, I'd love to be your friend. So just shoot me a request thing or doodle. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.